Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Greetings and salutations. You are tuning in to the Kevin Jackson Radio Show. I am subbing in for the great Kevin Jackson. My name is Brett Segal, otherwise known as the Disgruntled Millennial. You may call me the Mr. Disgruntled Millennial. Today, I always broadcast to you live where I am free from your bigotry, racism, hatred, microaggressions, and patriarchy. Unfortunately, today I'm not free from your hypocrisy. Today, I am joined by Colin Flaherty. He's an award-winning reporter and author of the #1 best-selling book, Don't Make the Black Kids Angry, The Hoax of Black Victimization and Those Who Enable It. That title would seem pretty provocative if it weren't backed up by so much evidence. His work appears in more than 1,000 news sites around the world, including the New York Times, Washington Post, Los Angeles Times, Time Magazine. His story about how a black man was unjustly convicted of trying to kill his white girlfriend resulted in his release from state prison and was featured on Court TV, NPR, the Los Angeles Times, the San Diego Union Tribune. He is also the author of White Girl Bleed a Lot, The Return of Racial Violence to America and How the Media Ignores It. His books are about black mob violence, black on white crime, and the knockout game, and how public officials, reporters, and activists deny, excuse, condone, and encourage it. Now, if you listen closely, you can already hear leftists in the distance chortling. He's a racist. He's a bigot. He's a Nazi. Institutional racism, slavery, reparations. Let's just get this right out of the way, Mr. Colin Flaherty. Are you a racist?
Well, of course not. And, you know, I'm reminded of what Thomas Sowell's definition of a racist is: any conservative winning an argument with a liberal.
Absolutely. Now, you're not a member of the KKK. You're not a Nazi or a Nazi sympathizer. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, of course I'm not. And but you know, the fact is, I do not worry about what the clowns call me. I let them worry about me. Absolutely.
And you have met a black person in your lifetime, haven't you?
Yeah, well, you talked a little bit about him in the intro. So.
Okay, so just so we can get this going, what do you think of Kevin Jackson? And you do know he's black, right?
Yeah, I think Kevin's the best one out there. I mean, as far as just purely and effortlessly swatting away all this fake racism, all this fake outrage that the liberals constantly come at him with. When I see him on Sean Hannity show or other Fox shows, he's very impressive.
Yeah, he is very impressive. And okay, so let's jump right in. How did you get into this line of work? Are our leftist comrades actually supposed to believe that you got started in doing this by actually trying to exonerate a black man?
Well, I was a reporter for a long time, and one of the bigger stories I ever wrote was out in Encinitas, California. A guy wrote my editor a letter, Kelvin Wiley. He said, "Hey, I didn't do it." So I got a copy of the letter, and I thought I was going to do a story about a guy in prison wasting everybody's time by saying he was innocent of a crime he was plainly guilty of. So I started looking at it, and sure enough, at the trial, at the sentencing, the judge said the main witness against him was lying.
Right.
And so I thought, here's what he said in the letter. I didn't believe it. So I went and looked at it, and I found new evidence, new witnesses, and I showed that, not only did this crime did not happen. That's hard to prove something doesn't happen, by the way. I showed that the woman who set him up tried to set somebody else up for the exact same thing 1 year before. So it was a big deal. It was on NPR. It was on Court TV. I thought they were going to make a movie out of it for a while. But the powers that be in Hollywood told my agent, they said, we don't make movies where women are the villains because the audience for TV movies is about 75-80% women.
Right, because institutional sexism and whatnot. So, explain how you got more into sort of what you've been doing currently, because this is one of these things that most media folks try to shy away from. They don't want it. It's like a hot potato. If a black man commits a crime, it's a man commits a crime. But if a white guy commits a crime, it's white guy commits a crime. How did you come into this line of work?
I thought I was out of the reporting racket, and I was doing my own, I have my own marketing communications company and doing some online stuff and doing very well, all good. But anyway, my brother was doing a radio show in good old Wilmington, Delaware, so I started co-hosting the show with him. And I picked up a story in the paper once that said all these Asian kids at a South Philadelphia high school, where 13 of them went to the hospital in one day.
Wow.
And apparently these kids were beating themselves up.
Right.
And but when I looked into it, it turns out that for years, black people it's like a 90% black school. Black people at this school have been harassing, torturing, threatening, beating Asian students, mostly immigrants, at this school. And when they went to the security guards, they said, we can't do nothing. When they went to the principal, they said, we can't do nothing. When they went to the superintendent, she said, well, we can't do nothing. And then she started whispering to the reporters. When the reporters finally got on the story after years of this happening, she went to the reporters and said, yeah, the Asian kids are really causing it because they don't know how to act around black people. And she even gave the Asian kids at this school a flyer instructing them how not to antagonize black people so they wouldn't constantly be assaulted and threatened every day.
Right. Basically blaming the victim, as the leftists like to say.
Yeah, so when I did this story, all of a sudden I'm talking to other reporters and they're going, well, that had nothing to do with race. And then I started seeing other stories, the same thing, wildly out of proportion, the exact same kind of story. And I kept going back to these reporters, people I've known for a long time, going, hey, what's up with that? They go, no, Colin, that has nothing to do with race. Yet every other, but then when there was another story involving black people, I mean, it's all about race.
Right.
And so I thought there's something there. And so my stories are always half, here's the violence, but the other half is here's the denial, deceit, and delusion from reporters who just cannot get their mind around the fact that black criminality is so wildly out of proportion in this country, which, of course, is the exact opposite of the narrative we see in the paper and TV every day. So that's what I write about. That's what's in my YouTube channel.
Right. And for some reason, and in some magical way, the media always finds a way to excuse it. This is Brett Segal, the Disgruntled Millennial. We're here with Colin Flaherty. We'll be right back.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Beth Cook Moranville, author of Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope.
Hope, that wonderful, wonderful four-letter word that you may feel completely out of. I wrote this book to give you great hope. It's not too late. If fetal position is an all too familiar place for you, I understand. If the next 60 seconds are too long, this book is for you. Wherever you are right now, whether you're dealing with divorce or death or sickness, take hope. You are going to make it through this pain. Don't roll your eyes. I've walked this road and I know it. The best is yet to come.
Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope from author and speaker Beth Cook Moranville, can be found on Amazon.com or Kindle.com. For more information, visit closerthanyourBreath.com or on Facebook at Closer Than Your Breath.